All right, you have. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. I need energy. Wait.
Yeah.
You talk to the
Okay.
people. I'm gonna go get energy.
What do I say to the people though?
Figure it out, bitch.
Figure it out, bitch. Okay, people. I guess we're just gonna have to figure this out. So basically, we're gonna go through the topics for today. I don't know what Dylan's got prepared for this at all.
Energy.
That's not energy. That's not energy. I have no clue what Dylan's prepared for this at all. But we're going to talk about my quick trip to Sydney that I took just recently. We're going to talk about the cat that I found down in Sydney because it was the cutest thing in the world. We'll talk about my exams coming up. We'll talk about me going to Thailand, which I am beyond excited for. Oh yeah, we'll probably have to talk about my haircut because I did get one of those, as you can see. Yeah, beyond that, it's a bright sunny day in Brisbane. We're going to have a good time. All right, I spoke to the people.
What'd you say?
I gave them the rundown on what today's about.
All right, Dane. Well, let's start from the top. You've got the schedule apparently for today's podcast. What are we talking about?
I've got the conch shell, probably.
Anyway, the what?
The what? Have you not read Lord of the Flies?
I have not read Lord of the Flies, but if anyone was
You've
a Lord of
not
the
read
Fly, it would fucking be you.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I feel insulted, but I don't know how.
I don't know, but welcome back to the Big Things Podcast, everybody.
Episode
I have acquired
12?
energy. This is episode. Wait, last one was.
The last one was
This is
12.
13. This is 13.
This is 13.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I haven't uploaded or started editing 12, unfortunately.
Oh well.
But,
This is a.
I was about to
I don't
say
know.
that.
Maybe it'll be a lucky podcast. Maybe it'll be a super unlucky podcast. You never know how 13 can go.
Oh yeah, it's 13.
Actually, it's going to be Friday the 13th. Next Friday.
Damn it. That's on.
Yeah.
We fucked up our scheduling here. We should have.
We really did. But look, the 12th episode is meant to come out on Friday the 13th, so we fucked that up as well.
Yeah. Should we just skip 12? Well. Like how iPhones skip 9?
Yeah, we
they?
could. I mean, we totally. Yeah, I think it was the 9 they skipped because they went 8 for 10.
Yeah, they just skipped it for no reason.
Yeah, they're just like, here's the iPhone X. Ask no questions, you know, guys.
Yeah. Roman numerals, yes, this is how that works.
And then they went straight back to regular numbers, so good for them.
Yeah, and then they made the iPhone 13, which is worse than the iPhone 9. Like, if you were going to skip a number, I'd skip 13.
Nah, but 13's fine.
9 is what? Is like, what? Anyway. Well, yeah, welcome back to the Big Team Podcast. The podcast is basically where we talk about
Big things.
Yeah, no, we don't. We just don't.
Well, we have a little bit. Piqueno.
We do talk about big things occasionally, but not very much. We really just kind of yammer, as we like to say. We just yammer off.
There is a good amount of yammering.
There's a large amount of yammering. I mean, in episode 11, we just slapped each other with tortillas. It was like half the episode. And it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie.
You should totally watch it.
Have you watched it? Have you watched it, Dane?
I've watched it. I was there.
No, but have you watched the episode?
Yeah, I watched the episode.
I cut some more things. After,
oh, did you? Okay.
Because we did a fucking little watch over of it, and then I cut some more things out. And because I switched to perspectives, which I hadn't done when you saw it.
Yes, I will need to watch that.
Yeah, you should watch it. I mean, you know what we said anyway, but whatever.
Yeah.
Have a skim.
I'll have a skim milk at it.
And there was the thing where the idea that we had about putting the slaps in between like the cuts. I did that. I did that.
Nice.
Oh, that was
okay. I definitely need to watch it.
It was so funny. Yeah, have a little skim of that one. And if the people haven't seen it, it's a funny one. I mean, the actual content in the podcast is kind of mid because we were just like So far.
We had water in our mouths for half the time.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, one half of it we just had water in our mouths, and the other half we would just talk. We literally just went. So the Pope died. Eh?
Yeah. Do you want to know what the
Basic.
Pope's been up to recently?
No, I don't. But go on.
Okay, cool. Because I don't know. Anyways.
Oh, great. End of conversation. Moving on.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Dane said we're going to talk about in this episode, but I'm assuming we're going to do a little bit of quick catching up. But then I think the majority of this episode is going to be about the actual trip, because we have had a couple days ago.
I did forget to mention that when I gave my little sum up on what today's going to be about.
Right. So the big part of this,
even though it's going to be the bulk part of the podcast.
Yes, if anything, the entire podcast pretty much is going to be about the road trip, right? Obviously, the 40,000 kilometer road trip that we're doing in under 90 days. That starts in November and ends in February over summer, right?
Yeah, no sweat.
Around all of Australia to go see the big things, right? And it's obvious, we know this shit by now, right? Where I have a 2007 Nissan Navara.
Yes, he does.
And it's got some pros and cons. It's not the worst, and it's definitely not the best, right? It's pretty good. It's comfortable. It runs at roughly between 13 to 15 liters per 100 Ks, depending on how and where you're driving.
Yeah, diesel powered.
Yeah, it's a 4-cylinder, so it's tiny. It's small. But it's got four-wheel drive and lots of storage, and it's comfortable on the road and so on, right? It's got its pros, it's got its cons. But what about like the biggest thing that we're going to be talking about on this trip was, what if we did the road trip on motorbikes? Because I have 2 bikes right now. And I've been riding since I was 8. So like 10, 11 years. Or 10, I don't know, like coming on 10 years. I've been riding bikes. And I really enjoy it.
Decade.
I've always wanted to do a road trip on bikes. We're old enough to get our licenses now. What if we did the road trip on bikes? So a lot of this podcast is going to be talking about the logistics and the pros and cons behind that, and what we really think we can and we could, and what we should do at the end of the day.
I come to you with the very obvious argument of,
wait.
So we're going down the highway. Oh, okay, fine. I'll wait.
We'll talk about this later.
Okay.
First things first.
Okay.
Let's catch up. How you been? What have you been up to?
I've been well. I've got a haircut, as you can see. Kira
really
did it.
Showing off the hairline.
I know. Oh, it's great.
I will not be doing that.
Yeah, so Kira did it, she butchered it, so Ali fixed it up, and it looks a lot better. And I'm quite happy with it.
Of course she butchered
it. A bit of a... Oh, yeah, like, it was just very uneven. Like, this side was shaved so much more than this side was.
I think I need a haircut. Every time I say I need a haircut, someone goes, "No, you don't." But like, it's
you're due. Yeah, you're due. You need a haircut.
I'm due?
Yeah, you're due to have a baby.
I didn't know I was due.
You've got too much mileage on this one haircut. No, you need to get a new one.
You said you're due, and the first thing I genuinely thought you were saying like JEW. You're due. Just you're due.
No.
I could. I mean, there's a bit up there.
There is a bit up there.
But like, every time I say I need a haircut, someone goes, "Oh no, you're right." I don't know. Like, I kind of like. I like having longer hair. I like having
fun. It is fun.
Like a mid-length hair, not short hair. But like, so I feel like I always look way, way, way worse with short hair. Like, I don't think I suit short hair as much, but I really tend to sometimes enjoy short hair more because I don't have to think about my hair at all ever. Like, it's just up there.
Yeah,
It's just doing
I'm
its
way more
thing.
used to seeing you with short hair.
Really?
Yeah,
You haven't seen me with long hair that much? What?
not really. Like, you've had long-ish hair, but you haven't really had what I'd call long hair.
Well,
Oh, you did.
to be fair, in high school, in grade 12, I shaved my head completely, and I
Yep,
had very long hair then. That was the longest hair I had, and that was a long time ago at this point.
it was.
So it's been a while since you've seen me. Like, this is just getting back to about the point that I shaved it off.
Yeah.
And I've cut it like 4 times in between since. So, because I always kept it short because what I do, I shaved my hair completely, for Shave for a Cure in high school. Then I shaved it again, like pretty short around like the sides and a little bit off the top, for formal because it was just growing out like
you
a big
did.
fucking.
I remember that.
And then I got my dad to cut it after that, and Kira gave me so much shit. I was like, oh my god, that actually pissed me off. That was so bad. It was like, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was alright.
And then
Kira just being a bitch. Whatever. Yeah, I got my dad to cut my hair. And then I think that might have been the last time I got my hair cut. Or I went to like fucking Castaways and Cooler maybe once in between that, after that.
Yeah.
I probably did. And then I've just
Fair
let
enough.
it go. But for the last like 2 months, I've been saying I need to get a haircut. And I've genuinely, for the last 2 months, I've been planning. I'll go, okay, tomorrow I'll get up at this time. I'll go into work early so that I can go to the hairdressers like next door. But I don't.
He sleeps in.
Well, I just don't want to. I mean,
That's fair enough.
I don't know. Pros and cons. Oh.
You'll do it soon. I don't know. Next time we record when I'm back from Thailand, you'll just show up with a buzz cut and I'll be like, okay, we're doing this.
No. I feel like the longer hair suits me more, but I just have to deal with it more.
Yeah,
because it hides my hairline.
The issue.
That's the best part. Is it hides the hairline more, and the less of my hairline you can see, the better. Okay, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't go forward. It's got this dog shit middle. Whoa. All right, let's stop fucking around with my hair. We just discovered something I never want to see again, and now I'm gonna blur that.
I wish I took a screenshot.
Yeah, I've got the footage.
Exactly.
Yeah, my hair does some funny things. Anyway, your hair does some funny things too.
My hair does some very funny things. It goes every which way but the way I want it to.
Yeah,
and it curls.
You curl that. Like, she curls, yeah. So...
But yeah, I got the haircut. That was cool, I guess.
That was cool, thing. I guess.
It happened. I was there.
Remember where you were when Dane got a haircut?
Yeah, where were you? Where were you as Dylan rearranged his OBS?
Leave me alone. I'm trying to make it bigger for you. I'm trying to make my little thing bigger. There, it's slightly bigger now.
I don't know if that did anything.
Fuck you.
Okay.
It's... Wait, can I do that? Yes. Bigger.
Whoa!
See, that's way bigger. I'm bigger.
He's larger.
Oh! The people have
massive.
No idea what's going on. Don't worry, I was just making sure Dane couldn't see me.
Look at his forehead.
Okay. Massive? Low taper
Yeah.
fade.
No. You've had too many reels for the week. Put it down.
That never comes. Oh, no, it does sometimes.
It definitely does. It's you, Dylan. Calm down.
Should I get a low taper fade?
No, don't get a low taper fade.
I want to get a low taper fade just for the meme.
You should not get a low taper fade.
I'm gonna go get an LTP.
What?
Wait,
If it's still funny when we go on the trip, I'll give you one.
you ain't giving me a fucking fade.
Yes, I am.
No, the
I'll bring
fuck you
clippers and
ain't.
everything. It'll be fine.
On the bike?
No. Alright. Yeah, and then
Yeah, what else has been going on?
just this week I went on a brief trip just down to Sydney. I had a little family event and I realized I'm leaning out of screen, I think. No, never mind. I had a little family event down in Sydney, so went down for that. I had to dress all smick, wear the suit and everything. It was cold as shit, so I needed the suit. Keep me warm.
Why were you in a suit? It was for your brothers. Wait, wasn't it?
Mhm.
No, well, why were you in a suit?
I was in a suit because it was a formal event.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun
And then
time.
it was interesting, I'll say that much.
Okay.
My brother did not dress formally because he didn't have to be there and he immediately left. That bastard.
Alright. Well, fair enough. Why would you?
Yeah. He immediately just went out to go catch up with mates, so good for him, but I was like, screw you for showing up in shorts.
Oh
and a
wait,
nice
because did
comfy
your brother
tee.
move up here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was ages ago. I was back on the
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was under the impression he was still there.
No. No, definitely not.
Is he at Coolum?
Yeah, he's in Marcoola with mum. He works at the Hungry Sailor, you know, the fish and chip shop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he drop out of school though?
Yeah, he did.
That's unfortunate. It'd be so funny if he went to Coolum High.
Yeah, it would be a bit, but he doesn't want to. Like, he's like, fuck school. So he's
get an
about to start doing TAFE. He hasn't been able to get into apprenticeship, but he's doing his electrotechnology certificate.
Electrotechnology.
Yeah,
Wants to be a
you need to do that.
Sparky.
Yeah, you need to do that before you get. Most people will take you on as an apprentice.
I'm so tired. Sorry. Yeah. So fun trip to Sydney.
Yeah, it was very nice. We met the most amazing cat in the world. It was literally this guy. He was just walking through a train station. He just had the cat sitting on his arm, like just straight up there. The cat was just chilling, sitting up, looking around as he walked around. We stopped the guy and like asked, like, "Oh, is this your cat?" and everything. And then the cat was just like so calm and so welcoming. Like we just gave it a hug. It climbed up on my shoulder, just chilled out. Yeah, it literally just sat there for a few minutes as we talked to the guy.
That's awesome.
It was the calmest cat ever.
I want that cat.
It was great. I loved that cat so much. I really want it. It reminded me a lot of one of my old cats that I used to have when I actually lived back down in Sydney. It definitely wasn't the same cat, but it was a gorgeous cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who the fuck keeps a cat on their arm? Who takes a cat outside?
I don't know.
Like, who goes? People that go like out with their cat. It's weird.
It is, but look, it's Vivid in Sydney right now, so they do like light shows all around the city. The guy that owns the cat, he literally says, "Oh yeah, he'll take his cat into the city, put it in front of one of the light shows. It just sits there for an hour, and then he comes and picks it up."
What?
The cat's just transfixed, like just looking at the lights.
It's like drugs for a cat. It's like catnip.
I guess so.
Is the cat like just constantly on catnip? Because I've never seen a cat.
I don't
that
think
acts
so.
like that.
I've seen cats on catnip, and they do not act like that.
Oh well, catnip everything acted like. Anyway, sorry, my brain is so not firing on all cylinders.
He's here, guys. He's ready. He's ready to talk.
My brain is misfiring. I need a borgie. I need food.
Yeah, it's only.
I'm just so annoyed about what the fuck.
Nearly 4 hours later than when we said we were going to start recording this.
Yeah, well, if I woke up, actually no, I did wake up on time, and then I was like, oh wow, it's so early, and then I blinked and it was 12.
Oh, that sucks.
I'm just transfixed, as they say, on what the fuck my hair is doing. You have a shower.
You're like that cat standing in front of the light show, looking at your forehead.
I'm
funny.
Moving on. Next question.
Okay, fine. Next question.
Smash. Next question.
Smash or pass?
Oh god.
Smash or pass? This dinosaur or this rubber duck?
Smash the rubber duck.
Okay. Poor dinosaur.
Fuck, marry, kill. Yeah, anything else been going on with you recently? How's uni going?
So I have a break week this week. We have exams next week. So it's just studying for that, basically. I didn't really need to go away to Sydney because I should have been studying, but it's fine. It's fine.
But you had a formal event to go to that was interesting, so...
Exactly. I'll tell you more afterwards. It's just not really a podcast thing.
I know. I'm very well aware.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have an exam on Monday and an exam next Friday, so in a week from now. Both in the afternoon, and we'll see how I go.
What are the exams on?
Yeah. The Monday one is fluid dynamics.
Again?
So
measuring the fluid of this.
Oh yeah, the net positive suction head. So yeah, that's the fluid dynamics one. Head. Dude, I gotta look at bed densities. Positive suction head. Is your bed fluidized or packed, dude?
My bed.
Yeah. Because that was the other half of the course. It was just on particles and shit.
You're a particle.
Yeah, we all are. Oh. Your mouth is currently a particle, like just.
A particle. Oh, that's funny. Oh, you're such a
and then
nerd.
The Friday one. Fuck you, bro. And then the Friday one is our process engineering. So it's just literally, this is what mass and energy are, guys. It's crazy. Oh, another thing, I don't have a sink.
Yeah, I saw Nate's story.
Yeah, the sink just fucking broke. It just straight up fell.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
So Nate
were you sinking in the cum?
Dishes in the morning?
Were you sinking in the cum? Or were you coming in the sink? Which one was it?
I don't know what Nate was doing in the sink, but the sink didn't want any part of it.
So Nate broke
it. Yeah, it was all Nate's fault.
So Nate has to pay, yeah. That's pretty fucked up, though.
It's so bizarre. He was just washing dishes in the sink, and then it just fell, and I heard him scream at like 10 a.m. in the morning. Fuck.
He screamed?
So that was he screamed. It was such a funny way to wake up.
Fuck! Wait, you weren't awake at 10 a.m.? That's odd for you.
It is. I think I was awake, but I was just like bedrotting or something like that.
I'm always bedrotting.
Well, you're not bedrotting right now. You're chair rotting.
How do you know this isn't my bed?
I'm aware it's not your bed. I've seen your room. I see that mattress on the floor.
Don't gotta do me like that, man. You ain't gonna do me like that.
So
next time you come here, I'll get rid of the mattress. I'll set up just a stretcher. It's a stretcher and sleep it back.
That's all you need. Just have your whole swag rolled out.
I'll have the bed there, but I'll just have the whole swag on the bed with the stretcher on the bed. So
is your swag still moldy?
No, my swag was never moldy. The mattress in the swag.
Remember on the trip? Oh, the mattress. Yeah, is the mattress still moldy?
The mattress cover in it, because for the trip, for a swag, you're meant to weather your swag. I didn't get time to, and mostly just
He
completely forgot.
definitely did that.
Yeah, I just completely forgot to
Yeah.
weather it. And when you weather it, it basically gets the what is it, like the stitching or something in it tightened, like it like expands and then contracts and expands and contracts, and it like seals up all like the small tiny little minuscule holes, so the water doesn't leak and it just runs off. I didn't do
Yeah.
that, so then the water didn't run off. The water went in, and so for a good couple nights of the camping, except for the one at north of Melbourne, um, yeah, it was fucked. It was very wet.
You're a very wet man.
I was I was usually able to get like one side of the swag like to be like relatively okay. But then even
Yeah.
even the awning that we were using, because we were using a tiny little awning, the King's awning, and that just like genuinely leaked through. Plus the thing's like bent and broken. It was fucked.
Yeah, no.
And then when we set up the 270 awning, it was alright, and we had plenty of thing. Like, and then we set up the
We had lots of fun.
We set up the 270 awning. It didn't even rain barely that night. It rained a little bit, but like
Yeah. It looked like it was gonna storm really badly, and then it just like chilled.
Yeah, but the night that we camped before that, we set up the King's one and it was fucked.
It was so bad.
It was so fucked. Yeah, so my swag got super wet, and because it's like rolled up in the tub the whole time, didn't really air it out very much. Didn't get time to.
No.
We aired it out.
If anything, it just got more wet.
No, we aired it out the whole time we were in Bundina.
Yeah.
And we took it out and let it dry in the sun, because it's the only way you can kill the mold, is let it completely dry in the sun. And like I got some mold kill spray.
You did have that,
but
we used it correctly.
Wait, surely there's footage of that.
Oh, there would be, because it was when we were setting up at on the river.
There better be footage of that, because it's the dumbest shit ever. Because I talked to my dad not long after, and he told me what to do when it gets moldy, and it was like it's like vinegar or something. Like you go and buy mold killer spray or some shit, and it's just bleach basically, and it just bleaches it, and it doesn't kill the mold entirely. It just like it doesn't look like it's there. It's gone, but it fucks it. It's bleach. It's poisonous. Bad for you and for the mold. So I didn't realize that I got a bleach-based mold kill spray, and then started spraying it on the thing, and I was like, well, that's really white. I started like rubbing it in, and I was like, oh shit, that smells really. Oh, that's fucking bleach. I was like, oh, I've just sprayed a fuck ton of bleach on the mattress I'm sleeping on in in a confined space, a really small confined space.
Mind you, this is like a couple hours before we're about to go to sleep for the night.
Yeah, there's not much time in between. There's nothing open. Like, and because like pros and cons, we set up like the thing is all set up on the fucking car. Like, we can't be like, oh, let's quickly run in, grab some like actual mold killer spray or something, or do anything about it. No, it's just you're fucked. So that was kind of cooked. Yeah, it did get a little bit moldy, but we've kind of sorted it out. I think that was one of the combination of reasons. That was one of the one on the next night. So we were going to sleep in around Jindabyne the next night.
Yeah, we were.
And then
Snowy Mountains.
We decided, no, fuck this. Let's just keep driving and not stop till we get to an actual house with a bed. And we did.
And then we did not leave for a week.
And then we left a week later after going to a festival. Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was good times. We should do it again, but like 10 times bigger.
Crazy that we're having this conversation right now.
And then we should do it on 2 wheels.
No.
Yep.
We should do it with 4 that are on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah,
2 bikes.
exactly.
4 wheels.
No.
Yeah. Look,
we'll attach the bikes with like just some 2x4.
Yeah.
And it'll be fine.
So anything else been going on with you? Just uni and work and
The lack
the
of a
sink
sink.
broke. Yeah, what are you gonna do about that?
Yeah. So the plumber was meant to come this morning. The plumber is sick.
I swear
So we still don't have a sink.
I swear every single time, um, every time we record one of these, you are always talking about a plumber. There's always a plumber involved in some capacity.
I
Oh, my
really
shower.
don't think there is.
Yes, in at least half of these
No.
episodes, you have mentioned a plumber. Ali
I would
has.
like to see the proof of that.
Well, when I go through looking for clips to upload, I will. I'll show you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Sure, buddy.
Mm.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. So lack of a sink, that sucks. L for you.
Yeah,
Okay,
but the
good.
plumber is apparently coming tomorrow. So let's hope that they don't get sick again. And we'll see what happens.
Well, maybe next time don't sink in the cum.
You can tell Nate that. You can tell Nate that.
Nate would sink in the cum though.
He would. He definitely would.
Mm,
He's just that kind of guy. It's crazy.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see that video? Oh my god,
I
that
did.
was so funny. I've Pavloved. I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but I'll mention it again. I've Pavloved Dane, for the rest of his life, probably.
Hmm.
If you don't know what the game is, oh my god, imagine like people actually listen to this episode, and then
Then they're gonna know what the game is.
They don't know what the game is, and now they're playing the game.
Oh, that would ruin so many people's lives.
Basically, the game is a game that you are now always playing the game. You can never not be playing the game, and the entire
You can't win the game.
You can kind of win the game if you.
Well, you can be winning the game, but you can't always have won.
Because the game never ends. The game ends when you die. So to win the game, die, basically. That's essentially what the game is. The game is a lifelong game. And the purpose of the game is to forget that you're playing the game. Or forget that there is a game. And every time you are reminded that you're playing the game, you lose the game. And so Dane and I just lost the game. And we did
indeed just lose the game.
We now have to suffer with those consequences and move on to the next time that we lose the game. But I always, on the road trip that we did, Dane and I constantly, I was more so constantly making him lose the game. And one thing I did to do such thing was basically when you'd say like the old meme, crazy, I was crazy once. They locked me in a rubber room with rats room crazy. And then you repeat. Whenever we'd say like crazy, and then he'd go crazy, I was crazy once. I would go, and then I lost the game. So so every time you said crazy, you'd think, and then I lost the game.
I'd just immediately lose the game because that's all it leads to.
Because we kept saying it over and over again. After like the 20th time that I've said crazy and then I lost the game, he just thinks crazy and then the game, and then he loses the game. And so a normal word like crazy now makes him lose the game as well as just the game.
Every single time I hear it. And
he got
half the time
very annoyed
that I hear it. Okay, when I'm not around you and I hear it, sometimes I'll lose the game, but sometimes it's just a word. Whenever I'm around you and I hear crazy, I lost the game just immediately.
Oh, okay. So
you nearly fully.
It's a combination.
But it's pretty much ingrained into my life at this point.
Yeah. So I did that to a coworker because I also, we'd say one of us would say crazy and then blah blah. I would do my bit and then I would explain why I did that bit so much and explain the whole Pavloving thing. Pavlov being the guy that made his dog know it was dinner time by ringing a bell. And so then when he rang a bell, the dog was hungry and salivating. And for this, it's crazy, and then you think of the game. And so I explained that to my coworker, and then I had successfully, not long after, Pavloved her, and she would think of it herself, and it was the funniest shit ever. I am slowly conquering the world with this stupid ass bit.
One day, when the platform's large enough, you'll
I
just
tell you when I made
put
my
a post
boss.
up.
I tell you when I made my boss lose the game, and he actually was pissed off at me.
Why would you do? Okay, yeah, sure. Tell me. Let's hear.
Because someone sent me like a meme or something that made me lose the game, and I wanted to share
Unfortunate.
it. I wanted to share it with him, so I like walked over to him. I was like, "Hey, do you know the game?" Like genuine question because I wanted to share. Like I knew it was gonna make him lose the game if he knew what it was, and I knew that if he didn't know, that he would be playing the game and he's lost. And it was bad either way because you can't really talk about the game without losing the game.
Yeah.
But it was fucking hilarious because I wanted to share this thing with him. I never even got to because he got that pissed off because I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, do you know the game?" And he literally just was just like, he just looked at me and was just like, I was like, "The game? Do you know the game?" And he just was just like stunned. Like the
Yeah.
cogs were slowly turning as he was slowly recalling this age-old memory
It
of the
was such
game.
an ambush on his
He
mind.
he walked away so far. He literally just went, um, he just went, "I can't fucking believe you" or something. He goes, I haven't heard of that in 3 years.
Oh.
I made him lose the game after 3 years of him
Okay, I would be
successfully
so
forgetting.
pressed. That is
He
completely justified. Dylan,
he
you're an evil
walked
man.
he walked away to the other side of the store and yelled out, "We're not friends anymore." He was genuinely so mad.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was so funny. I was laughing my
3 years.
ass off. He
That's
was not laughing.
crazy.
He was not funny for him.
Oh,
Um,
poor man.
yeah, so I've successfully have loved my coworkers. Hmm.
You're an
Have
evil person, Dylan. You're just spreading this virus.
I am. Well, we've been recording for like 40 minutes, so let's move on to the bulk of this
Let's
podcast.
yeah, let's get into the
The
meat and
nitty
potatoes.
gritty, the meat and potatoes. Right. So yeah, I've already explained this, but again, we had the idea to do the road trip on motorbikes. Plenty of people travel around Australia
Mm.
in forward drives, in little tiny rally cars, in the old CT 110s, the fucking, I think it's CT, the postman bikes. You
Yeah.
know, they do that, um, and they travel
You
around
see the
Australia.
occasional Mazda 2 and everything.
Sure, why not? Like anything, basically with an engine, you can travel around Australia. People are walking around Australia right now,
Yeah.
just because um, people run from one side of the country to the other. People do fucked up shit. Um, the only like the only thing is, what do we want to do, and what's going to be better for us, essentially. But there's no at the end of the day, there's not really any right or wrong answer, I don't think, because both
Yeah.
options in right now we're thinking either we take the Navara, um, has pros and cons, or we take two bikes. There's plenty of pros and cons with that, right? Just really comes down to what's gonna make the trip funner for us and more doable for us, essentially. Because at this point, like if you could calculate the success rate of us actually getting through this whole thing, doing the 100% of the trip that we've planned out and getting back on time, I or even getting back, I genuinely think that rate is lower than 35, 40% lower than
Oh,
that.
dude.
Probably lower than 20.
Easy. 99% of the time, it works every time. Don't worry.
I think it's more like 1% of the time it works 99% of the time.
Yeah, something like that.
Um,
It's a bit of a predicament. I still think it is going to be more doable and particularly safer with the nav than the bikes. And my greatest concern for that is the weather. Oh, very interesting business email.
Hold on, hold on. Yeah, what's your biggest concern? You said weather is your biggest concern.
Weather and safety, because obviously in the rain, it's very sketchy.
Yeah, so before this podcast, right? I talked to my dad, like I said I was going to, and I
Mhm.
talked to um I didn't really talk to Jason about it. I just kind of mentioned we
Okay.
were thinking about the idea, and Jason literally said, like, I don't want to like put you off it because I don't trust Jason like to the highest extent, but
Okay.
he has plenty of experience riding on the road, but he doesn't. Some of the things he said are just actually wrong. Um,
Okay.
but
Nice. What did he say? Let's get it.
his first comment, and because he's very short speaking, especially if you're not sitting next to him, but
Hmm.
you know, he just said that's physically impossible.
I
And
like how he thinks.
no, why? The amount of people that have told me that you're not going to do the trip, no, it's impossible. Yeah, good luck, fuck off. Yeah, and they just like wade it off. They just go, oh, fuck off. You're not going to do that shit. I just want to do it more. Like
Yeah.
that pisses me off enough that I actually like there is nothing that is gonna stop me from giving it a go now. Even if I don't get through the whole thing, I just want to fucking get on the road and go and do it. Because the amount of like someone says it's impossible and I know for a fact it's not impossible, just makes me want to go and prove them wrong. Like I am it pisses me off genuinely. So yeah, he just said it's physically impossible. I was like, how? Right? Here's
Yeah.
what he said two things. First, he said one, bikes aren't made for it. I said you're the dumbest motherfucker in the world. I can't believe you just said bikes
Okay. Yeah.
aren't
You,
made.
you have bikes that are definitely made for it.
Yeah, I he's had I don't understand. He's had a farm bike. From what I know, he's had a farm bike that I've ridden. It's dog shit. It's pretty fun though, a little fuck around farm bike. But yeah, and he's had a
Yeah.
um Ninja 300 and Ninja 500 or 600.
All right. Nice.
Right, and something else. He had one other bike, but it was another street bike. So he's running those types of bikes mostly, like road bikes and shit like that. So it's a bit different. Yes, those bikes are not made for it. Fuck no in the world. I would never ever take one like out in the country. That's made for
Yeah.
like the streets and the city and stuff like that. Not made for going camping on. Not going to happen. You take a BMW 650 GS or a GS series bike. You take a KLR. You take a DL 650 or DL, the V-Stroms. Particularly, I will talk to you about DLs later if we even move on from this topic.
Okay.
The DL 650 is a Lambs approved Suzuki V-Strom. It's probably the perfect bike to take anywhere in Australia. Um, and I've spent many hours looking at them, and I really want to get one. Um, it's like an adventure
I'm looking at a
touring,
photo now.
yeah, adventure touring bike kind of thing.
Yeah. Nice
Um,
bike.
yeah, can have like hand guards, uh, heated grips, fucking USB charging stuff, um, windscreen stuff, shit like that. You got a good riding position, so you don't like cramp or anything like that, like you do on a street bike where you like bent over. You got an upright riding
Yeah.
position, so your back and your legs are all straight and nice. Stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm not so worried about a hand warmer considering we're going to be doing it over the summer and we'll probably roast.
Nah,
Nah.
nah. You gotta still be worried about the cold. I mean, we'll be in Tassie.
Well, yeah, down there, but when we're going particularly north in all the gear,
Well, in all the gear doesn't really. What you do is you get a jacket that has armored back, armored shoulder, armored elbows, and the rest of it is all like air comes straight through. It's like basically just wearing like a coat that's like fucking like a fly net pretty much.
yeah.
So air comes like straight in, and it's still just got armor on your back and arms. Um, you have a helmet that has air vents, and fucking the same thing for your legs, right? And then when it's wet, you just have an inner lining that goes in the jacket that keeps it completely waterproof,
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. And if you really like, if we're really worried about the wet or anything like that, we just get a full onesie, um,
Yeah.
which aren't too hard to get. You just get like a full one zip up thing that like keeps you completely dry head to toe, no water gets in. Because obviously you'll still have a couple gaps around your neck with just a jacket and the and the waterproof lining.
Yeah.
So we can do that if we have to ride in the wet, like proper wet. Um, so anyway, yeah, it doesn't matter. He said it's physically impossible. I said you're fucking wrong. He said bikes aren't made for it. I said that's the word. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He also said bikes have a roughly 1500k service interval.
Mm.
That's fine for me. Like I don't see the problem with that because servicing a bike is a billion times easier than servicing a car. Servicing a bike, or
Yeah.
you pull out what fuck all oil and you know put more oil in. Like everything's small, everything's tiny, everything's really easy to get to. You can access the chain, you can access the oil filters and everything like that without having to get under anything, without having to lift anything up. It's just there for you. It's so easy. Whereas when we're servicing,
Mm.
and so like we can do way more services if we have to, if we want to. So the same thing also goes with like fixing anything, like fixing or repairing anything on a bike. You can do way easier. Like if anything goes wrong with the car, and a million more things can go wrong with the car because all the electrical things in it and all the more moving parts and stuff like that with it. The other thing is the car's defectable as well. That also is like a factor in all this shit. Whereas, and to service the car, we have to pay a mechanic so that they can get it up on a fucking hoist and shit and actually
Yeah.
see what's going on. Because otherwise, I don't trust that the car's going to be okay. Because one, I don't have the mechanical skills to fully diagnose something or fully service something and then take it across the fucking nullarbor. Um, and and two, it's got 7 liters of oil in it. We can't take that out and fucking put it somewhere. Like we can't just like leave it on the side of the road. Like we can't like 7 liters of oil comes out. We got like you can get big fines, right? And shit like that. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Because it's like chemical waste or something. I don't fucking know. We have to like pay. Like when you get your car serviced, you have to pay the mechanic so that they can get rid of the oil because they store it all, and then someone comes and picks it up. Essentially. Um, yeah, but servicing a bike we can do super, super, super easy. And it's also like a billion times cheaper because all you gotta do is buy the oil and oil filter. And that's it.
Yeah.
It's like fucking $30 a service. $40. Right? Whereas servicing the nav we're gonna pay like 150 to 200 probably a service. And it might be like
Yeah.
we have to do it every 5,000 Ks, but then we have to get it booked in with a mechanic every 5,000 Ks. That's really hard to find and book in with the schedule as well. And it also takes like an hour or,
Yeah.
45 minutes. So his whole servicing argument, I don't really understand. If you're gonna take a bike across the country, you want to know how to fucking do your own services, change your own tire tubes and shit like that. Um, it's super easy, shit like that. Working on a bike, a million times easier. Um, whereas, yeah, his next kind of thing was, he said that, he also the next thing he said kind of falls into what you were saying. Is basically his biggest his biggest argument, his biggest problem with it was,
Yeah.
um, you're way more prone to accidents. He said there's no way you and Dane don't crash the bikes,
Yeah.
right?
Especially me. I don't come from a riding background at all. I've ridden a motorbike by myself maybe 5 times. I can count it on my hand. That's a big confidence interval for me to build up in 6 months from getting my license to go on a 3-month road trip.
But you buy a bike and you just take it around the city, and in a month you'll be confident. Like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. The actual, like, the hardest part, yeah. Because, like, you live in Brisbane, so you literally just buy a bike and then you just ride it every day, and you will be fucking man. And the other thing is, you'll save way more on fuel if you actually just do that. And, like, be able to fucking find parks. You'll actually have, like, freedom. You don't have to, like, stick to where the trains go. Fucking hate fucking public transport. Which also applies to us on the
Transport's
trip.
fine here. I'm in a city. Calm down.
Yeah, no, but it sucks. You gotta go walk to the
Man.
train station and shit. Like, no, get on a
so
fucking
sad.
engine and have some fun. Like, fuck that. I hate having to do that shit. I hate it so much. I don't know. I enjoy it. It's fun. I want to do it. Like, I'd take an excuse to go for a drive or go for a ride because I find that shit fun.
Yeah.
The other thing, yeah, like if we, yeah, so let's say you build up your confidence though, because you've literally got 6 months. It's a long time of riding. And
Yeah.
the only thing in terms of like, he said there's no way you don't crash it. I say how bad, in my head, how bad do you have to crash it to not be able to get back up and get back on the bike? Like, I've crashed every bike. Like, how bad
Yeah.
are we talking? Well, in my head, how bad is you have to hit something at full speed, pretty much. Like an animal that crosses the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say a kangaroo jumps out in front of the road, like from the bushes. And also, this is fairly like unlikely. We'll have like roost shoes and shit on as well, whether they work or not, but they're meant to. What is the difference in damage between hitting a kangaroo on a bike and a kangaroo on the nav? Do you think? They jump out in front of the road, like in front of the car. They jump out in front of the bike. Let's say we actually, like in both scenarios, you hit them. What's the difference in damage?
One, I'm much more confident in keeping my life.
You won't die.
I'm sure, but I'll definitely be much more injured.
You wouldn't die.
Oh my god.
You'd be injured in the car.
I don't. Yeah, I'd be less injured in the car than I would be on the bike. Absolutely.
Well, I'll get to that point later. I'm talking about damage, not to you. I'll get to that point later.
Okay. Car, maybe drivable, probably not. Bike, I have a feeling is going to just be the same. Like, it'll be fucked.
Right. So if here's two things. One, there's two bikes. Okay. So if I hit a kangaroo on the bike, because we're not gonna both hit the same fucking kangaroo. So if I hit a kangaroo on the bike, we have a bike. We still have a vehicle. We can still go somewhere. We can still get help. We can still blah blah. Right. We hit a kangaroo in the car. We are stranded there, and the car's a write-off. Also, the car's $15,000 over that in the money I've put into it. $15,000.
Yeah.
And we hit something, it's a write-off because no, it does not have enough protection on it to ward off a kangaroo. Like if it's a tiny light kangaroo, like a baby, something, then yeah, it'll be fine. But even then, I've seen plenty of pictures of kangaroos that have jumped into the windscreen of cars because they're trying to jump like over the fucking car. And they just jump and then the car hits it straight in the windscreen and then they die. Or they're very injured then. Also, stopping time in the car at 110 k's an hour or 100 k's an hour, the stopping distance is like nearly over 500 meters, 400 meters to come to a full stop. The
Yep.
maneuverability of the car. If we swerve, we can roll. And plenty of people. That's why. Like the rule is on the road. If there's an animal, just slow down. Don't swerve. Because if you swerve, sometimes you run off the road on accident, or you actually
Yeah.
roll, or you come off into like oncoming traffic or something like that. You never swerve, right? So if we were to try and avoid the kangaroo, we're fucked. If we try and brake and we're going at full speed and we don't have time, we're fucked. And at the end of the day, the likelihood is whether it's an emu, a pig, a cow, a kangaroo, unless it's a rabbit, we're probably 90% chance packing up and going home. And by the way, and packing up and going home means, well, one, we have a car that's stranded on the side of the road that we can't get anywhere. We have to pay for a
Yeah.
tow, and then we have to figure out like a hotel to stay at and shit like that. Um, and we have to get this 2.2 ton Navara somewhere. Um, like to like a wreckers or something and try and get insurance money out. Like that is a whole nother problem. And then we have to like probably how the fuck do you get all the gear home if you don't tow it all the way home? Like what if we crashed like out near Perth? How the fuck do we get that home? That's a $10,000+ towing fee,
Yeah.
right? Crash a bike. If the bike's a write off, we have a bike. We still have a bike. We still have a bike. There's not all that
Yeah.
gear. There's not all that gear in it. You don't lose that much as much money out of it. Even like it'd still be insured, but you still don't lose all that money. Actually, it's also like a quarter of the price to insure. Um, plus like yeah, you just have like in terms of towing fees, in terms of like getting that bike somewhere or trying to get like to safety somewhere for like the night or back home or anything like that, you actually have a vehicle that fucking works still. And
Yeah.
that person can like, I don't know, run off, get help, do something. That same thing happens if we get bogged, you have another vehicle. Same thing happens if one person runs out of fuel completely, one person can go and get fuel. Like the same thing. Any scenario that happens where we're a little bit fucked, that could happen in either situation, we still have a vehicle for one of them.
Yeah. I'll
Right?
take that argument. What has your dad said when you spoke to him about it?
Oh, we got a whole nother list of shit there. He
Yeah.
he's more on the side of don't do the trip. Like he's always been trying to tell me to not do it entirely. Um,
Yeah, of
and
course.
he thinks like the best thing that I should do is just save my money, and work and spend my money in other places doing other things like yeah, which is fine, but yeah, no, it makes sense. But yeah, it, when I told him about like possibly doing on bikes, it was more just like just don't do it.
Yeah.
But his
Uh,
his biggest argument with it was being alert on the road. Um, in terms of like driving times, all our driving days are
yeah.
limited to 6 to 7 hours max.
We'll be much more fatigued, I feel, than in the bikes than we would be in the nav because we're splitting the driving in the nav, of course.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. It's easier to drive the nav on a like a long dead straight road. But again, like the like how do I put this? Get into the city, right? And then how tired are you gonna be compared to riding like once we're in the city, we like in the car, the whole plan is fuck driving. We can't fucking drive. Park up the car somewhere, which also means researching for a car park that's small enough. Sorry, that's big enough to fit the nav in, and also finding a car park that's not like full to the max in a city, and that's every single city, including like Darwin, right? Which is a mission in of itself when I was just researching and planning for the trip. it was hard to even find a
Yeah.
car park, right? Especially one that doesn't charge you $45. Get on the bikes, we don't have to park anywhere. And when we do park, there's always bike parks available. There's always a place to put the bike. And we barely have to pay anything, if at all. And any car park can fit us and has a bike park for us. It's a million times easier. It's way easier to navigate the city as well.
Be that as it may, my reasoning, like my rebuttal to that, is we're going to be spending more time out country. We're going to be spending less time in the cities, and I'm fine to cop the extra time in the cities, finding a park, using public transport, getting around on it by the boards or whatever like that in the cities, rather than being able to save time in the cities but be less comfortable when we're out rural areas and particularly going through the desert or crossing the Nullarbor.
What about the ferry? Both ferries, the one to Kangaroo Island and the one to Tasmania, prices will be cut like in half or more.
Have we checked that?
I can have a look at it now if you want.
I'll do that. Yeah, you check Kangaroo Island. I'll check Tassie. Kangaroo Islands. It's roughly half to a third of the cost a motorbike versus a car.
Yeah, because it takes so much less space.
Huh?
Why is it cheaper? It's about $100 cheaper. If we do the exact same dates and travel times, it's literally just $100 cheaper. So, bit of a fuck all difference there. I really thought we were gonna save a lot more money, but whatever. But either way, in terms of money saving, we are gonna save a lot more money if we do it that way. Because
because of fuel.
Fuck, 13 to 15 liters per 100 k's, man.
Yeah, and what's it on a bike? Like, what's the economy?
I'll have a look at specifically the DL650 because I think that's like the most likely bike to take. It's Lamb's approved and whatnot. I don't know how to type. 4.5 liters per 100 k's. So running both of them at the same time is like maybe 9 liters per 100 k's. So that's a lot of money saved. Oh, the other thing is it's fucking unleaded fuel, not diesel.
It is unleaded. So
and that means we don't have to line up for fuel in the diesel areas out in the fucking bush. So we only have one diesel pump and we can just slide right in.
Yeah, true.
Alright, but the biggest problem, obviously, like if we do take the bikes, then yeah, it's a million times cheaper, it's blah blah, it's easier to get around cities, find parks, it's easier for all that kind of stuff. It also means that if we take bikes, it's way harder to get bogged. Like, we're not going to get bogged if it like rains a lot or anything like that.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, I think it's fucking safer to take bikes. Why is I can't. There we go. Looking at it, it's like mirrored. I think it's safer to take bikes, in my opinion. In the event that the worst thing, like the pros, they're all, I feel like I've listed most of them. The biggest cons in my head, because I know there are bad sides to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Biggest cons in my head are one, gonna be road safety in terms of and my biggest, like, the thing that comes to my head the most is potholes and shit.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of animals, I mean, I think we will be mostly like fine.
Yeah, animals, it's less of a worry.
The other thing is, like, we take all these precautions.
Said,
yeah, and we take all these precautions to. We already do take all these precautions to avoid the animals at all costs and so on. So I think, you know, they will play pretty effective. I don't know. When it comes to like potholes and stuff, again, it kind of just comes out to how alert we are on the road. Not very hard to miss. Like, not very hard to see a pothole, right? And we are most of the time going to be stopping like all the time. Like there's not actually that many stops in the trip that are like much more than an hour in between. Most of them are like 30 minutes on average, probably. Um, and because we're only driving 6, 7 hours a day max, we're on our feet like most of the day. We're
Yeah,
exercising. As long as we're doing that, we're exercising, we're eating decently, and drinking water. There shouldn't be any like much fatigue there. And in terms of um, yeah, I don't know. Like in terms of road safety, I'd be more worried about the cities than outback.
say that again. You just cut out.
In terms of road safety, I'd be more worried about the cities than the outback. Because in the outback, yeah, sure, you can there's animals and fucking shit. There's more animals in the city. I'll tell you that much. They're all
Hmm.
in cars. I just
Nice.
And like you said, we're spending fuck all time in the cities, and the biggest point of the cities is we can find a park so much easier and navigate the city so much easier. So we just pull up where we have to pull up. We don't have to pull up and then yeah, it's so much easier. I think this takes a lot of stress. I think doing it on bikes takes so much stress off of the trip, honestly. The only I think it makes it funner as well, but it does make it more demanding for you.
Yeah, in my opinion, just looking at it, like just obviously I'm hearing you, but just it seems so much more sketchy in my head.
I don't trust the Navara. I think our biggest problem is the Navara. Like that to me, our biggest like the weakest link is the Navara.
Okay. All of the filming, charging of laptops, how's that going to be managed on a bike?
So there's this guy that's done similar road trips. A little bit less in distance, but similar in length, like time and same routes and stuff like that as well. On YouTube, who did it all on a Himalayan motorbike, 450. Um, and I've watched some of his videos, and I watched particularly his gear review, and looked at what gear he uses, and he had some like um, suggestions for different gear as well. And I thought it was super
Hmm.
useful. I'll probably send it to you later. The video is
Yeah, please do.
a little bit slow, a little bit boring. Like the actual videos of like vlogs of his days and shit, a bit boring because obviously he's just out in the outback and he's not really doing much. He's just documenting his travels. Um, he actually one of the videos I watched, he did 1,000 Ks in that day, which is
Right. Okay.
like a
That's
lot more than
insane.
we want to ever be doing. Plenty doable. You're just sitting on the road that looks like the same road for hours and hours on end. Really. What was your question?
Laptops, filming.
Oh, right. So yeah, he filmed the whole way as well, right? Um,
Yeah.
basically, he just has. I think I went like on his gear review and stuff. I went. They showed me like all the bags and shit that he has. And one of them was a camera bag that just had all. He had a really nice camera that he uses to shoot. And then some like GoPros and stuff as well.
Hmm.
And the way he would charge everything is just when he parked up, he just rolls out this like solar panel blanket and then hooks it up
Oh yeah,
to
I've seen
a
those.
I think he had like 1,000 watt lithium battery inverter. So then the solar panel blanket charges the battery, and then that's got some AC 240-volt ports that you can plug in to charge everything else up with. Which means for
Yeah.
us, it means no running the engines at like night or late when other people are around trying to sleep. With the big like loud exhaust as well, it means no using extra fuel, even though that's not really a concern of mine. Um, and it's also like small and easy to carry, so like we can easily both, if we wanted to, um, be having
Yeah.
one or two of those 1,000 watt lithium batteries that also will hold charge even after, right? So it's not like the inverter where it like always has to be plugged into the battery. That will just
Yeah.
store up charge, and then at any point we can just like pull it out, plug it in as well. In terms
Okay.
of
And
charging
then
phones and whatnot, we just have that charging on the bike. so the bike can charge them while they're running.
Yeah.
In terms
And then
of
obviously we can't bring our swags and stretchers and everything, so we just have small tents.
yeah, so there's plenty of like super compact tents that people use for like hiking,
Yeah.
people, all that kind of shit. You just have a small compact tent. You have one of those inflatable like mattresses that come out, and a sleeping bag, pretty much, would be the go.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
if anything, I'd be considering for the actual trip doing the exact same that same sleeping setup for myself, just to have more room in the car, even if we did in the car.
Yeah. That's completely fair.
So yeah, in terms of sleeping, yeah, it's just all air inflated stuff that like shrinks down to a tiny size. Um, in terms of food, super easy. If we wanna cook, we have a little jet boil stove, which is about so big, pretty small
Yep.
jet boil stove, um, and just like some water on us, some bacon or like soup or whatever like that, right? Same, pretty much the exact same setup. Small pots,
Yeah.
and if we want some soup and shit like that, um, and with like a couple pannier bags and shit, like what are they called? It's pannier or something like that. The bags and shit on the side and stuff like that, we can fit um, easily enough clothes for us, easily enough food for us. Have extra fuel tanks on the side of the bike, um,
Yeah.
extra water, full camping setup, and then between the both of us, it's just super easy to have full charging setup for equipment and recording and shit like that.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then
all we need is like literally this is the whole film setup. I'll literally show you. This is basically our entire film setup aside from like this is what it like fits down to. Like aside from the hard drives, which isn't that much more. That's it. That's my laptop,
yeah.
all of the microphones, the two GoPros, and all of the equipment for the GoPro except for the bread tag. Right? It's actually not
Yeah.
as much space. The only thing from there is that we just need to charge it. Again, solar panels and some lithium battery inverter things, what the fuck they're called. And then this trip, the guy said he took two as well, and then he just put them in the thing,
Yeah.
and they never failed. And he got like the cheapest ones he could, and they were mint. He said,
Okay.
and then some backpacks, some shit that stacks up on the back, and two bags on the side. There's plenty of space. And no, you can't take a big, massive duffel bag full of clothes. No, you don't need it though.
No, of course not. Okay.
Take one or two shirts.
And then just filming wise, we just have the GoPros just on the bike pointing at us or pointing down the road.
So yeah, in terms of filming, everything changes a lot.
Absolutely.
One thing in terms of our helmets is we get ones that have a Cardo setup. Basically means that we can listen to music and have like Bluetooth to our phones, so that we can have like phone calls, listen to music, and so on.
Okay.
We can also, if you want to is like have like radios to each other. It's entirely possible, but we could just stick to just having phone calls if we want to talk.
Yeah. Fair.
Then the other thing is we just have the microphone sits inside our helmet, which is super easy to do. Just have a microphone set up in there, which means that we can talk to each other, and then we can use that same footage as well for right. So we can still actually have conversations and still actually be talking like normal.
Yeah.
Exact same way, pretty much. The only difference is we can't. The only difference there is we can't go. Please speak into the clipboard, sir. Could you say it louder for the clipboard? We can't do that.
Yeah.
But again, but I think at the end of the day, the video isn't going to be a funny moments fucking compilation that we make. There will be plenty of funny moments that we get to have when we're sitting down by the campfire or whatever like that, or at camp or while we're walking around and shit like that.
Yeah.
While we're on the road on the small things trip, there was out of the whole trip, there wasn't that many hours that we were actually like, talking about things that we want to use, like using usable footage and shit like that we're gonna laugh. There was some really funny nights, like the one to Perisher. I'm sorry, to Bundina.
Yeah, to Bandana from Perisher.
To Bundina, and there was like the Spotto stuff that was in between, pretty funny, um, and shit like that. But nothing too much that doing it on bikes would take away from too much. But most of our like best conversations would and were kind of had at just while we were outside of the car anyway. And when we were in the car, we just wanted to
Yeah.
listen to music, which is why we bought earphones as well. Most of the
Yeah,
time,
we
we're
did.
just
Just
listening
definitely
to
want to listen to
music,
music.
like pretty much the whole time. Um, and this kind of two things means we can both listen to our own music, and yeah, it's not too bad in terms of taking away from the actual filming. Um, but at the end of the day, whether we film it or not, I don't really care. I mean, like I want to, like, I do care, but in terms of the filming, my it's not my biggest worry. Um, and
Hmm.
I think that the footage that we get will be great either way. Um, and I think where we would put the GoPros is probably on the helmet in front of us, looking at what we are looking at. So you get kind of like a POV kind of view,
Yeah.
and I generally like that best. It looks pretty good. We can at sometimes maybe mount it on the handlebars if we wanted to, if we got a mount for it, and then we could have different angles sometimes here and there. But the
Yep.
POV mount would probably be best.
Yeah. Okay. Space wise, we have all the space for that on the, or we would have all the space for that on the bikes.
Our camera and gear setup is so minimal and so tiny that it makes me worry about the quality of it. But at the same time, it's so because they're GoPros, they're made for it, right? All that shit that
Yeah.
we're doing is for traveling, pretty much. The laptop itself for the storage, like for like transferring the files off, is the smallest laptop I could fucking find, um,
Yeah.
which is perfect. And like, we're not going to take the big gaming laptop. It all weighs fucking nothing. So in terms of and I'm comparing this to the guy that I was talking about with his gear review and shit. His camera bag was about like probably so big. He had like a
Right.
huge, really beautiful camera that he was using to get amazing shots with, um, and shit. And people who like almost like any of the other ones that I watched and shit, like other traveling videos, people on bikes, they had drones as well. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
and they were out in the middle of nowhere. So let me
Would I have room for my camera? Maybe if you wanted to bring your camera, room for that?
No, I would say 99% chance, like 9 times out of 10, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Okay.
let me let you dwell on this. I'm just gonna run to the bathroom.
Oh, I don't know. I just don't know.
Hey, what are you thinking?
Okay. So I did a quick Google search. According to US stats, it is okay. According to Australia, it is 34 times more dangerous to be driving a motorcycle anywhere than it is a car. According to the US, it's 38 times more dangerous.
Nuh-uh. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. It's more dangerous. 38 times might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but it is, yes, more dangerous. I agree. It might not be more an exaggeration, but at the same time, those stats are a bit different to what we're doing. It doesn't exactly 100% mean that doing the trip on bikes is 38 more times dangerous.
Yeah, but obviously, you said before, if we hit a kangaroo, either way, we're fucked. But those smaller animals in the car, in the nav, not really much of an issue. In the bike, it's still going to be an issue.
Yes, though, yes, you're right. Ron's fucking right. Yes, it's more dangerous. It is definitely more dangerous to do it on bikes.
Yeah.
But that is the possibility of shit going wrong is already pretty fucking high. I'm okay making it higher to make it a little funner and cheaper. And like,
Yeah.
we're not getting a sponsor for this trip, and I don't earn very much money. I am very worried about not having enough for this trip. Like I'm probably gonna have enough to do it, But how much more would we be able to do if we didn't have? And also, like, I'm trying to fucking move out.
True.
And with the nav,
I just think
when the
it's
nav
not
comes
smart.
up, before we go, the nav is gonna, Amy's gonna charge me over $2,200 for insurance.
Yeah.
And I just had to pay $800 fucking dollars for registration.
Okay, what are the rego fees and insurance fees for bikes?
It's about in like engine size for registration. So rego for the
Alright.
bike should be like for a year, probably like 400 or 500 probably. Or 300 to 500, I'm assuming.
Yeah, 550 according to just my quick Google search, but that's obviously the highest rate.
Yeah. And then for like it depends on basically just engine size and shit for registration. And then for bikes, for insurance, I don't fucking know. But it won't be more than like because they're worth less. So essentially, it'll be less.
Yeah. All right, let me see if I can get a quick quote. Okay. I'm happy to bring it to a wrap now. I'm still not sure. I'm still very, very much not sure.
That's not a wrap.
I think it is. I think it's a very tall order for me to, within 6 months of getting my license, have, like, coming from barely no motorbike riding experience, to feel confident enough that I can go out and do this.
I don't know, that's just me. Like I genuinely think that driving a car is more effort than getting on a bike and riding. Like when I go out and I drive that nav, it is the longest fucking, biggest fucking, highest center of gravity car. If it's in the wet and I hit over like 2.2 thousand RPM, the wheels spin and I spin out. I did that in the dry on the road trip in Canberra. That was on the dry, merged onto the highway. The car fully spun out. And it was fucking dry. Plus, we nearly got stuck. Sure, I think. I can't remember. But yeah.
I don't know.
I think there are more opportunities for things to go wrong in the car. I think the biggest benefit, honestly, I think the only and biggest benefit to taking the car is like the safety and whatnot. Yeah, that's obvious. That's take it or leave it. But I think the biggest benefit to taking the car is that while one of us is driving, 90% of the time it's going to be me. You get to fucking read a book, and I think that's the biggest benefit to you. But in terms of the actual driving, like I would feel safer on a bike and more comfortable getting on a bike in the middle of nowhere than getting in a car and being like, there's everything is going to fucking go wrong in the car. The amount of electrical problems, the amount of like the wheel bearings and shit, the amount of money that's involved with it. If shit does really go wrong, I will be like calling my family because I have no fucking money to fix that shit. And it's so much more expensive to deal with a car like that problem than a bike problem.
I think with the car, we're trading out that more things could go wrong, but if something goes wrong, it won't be as drastic, aside from obviously a major crash. But if a major crash happens in either way, we're fucked.
With the car?
With the car. In the bike, if one thing goes wrong, we're fucked.
Why? No, in the bike it's easy to fix. In the bike we have two bikes. In the bike if something goes wrong, it's way less drastic. If something goes wrong with the car, we're on the side of the road waving people down, right? Like if we get bogged on the side of if we get bogged somewhere, like where we're camping, we have to go get someone on our feet. That's a lot harder. It also means that someone has to be able to pull us out of that. And it's a heavy car. I've been bogged in that car many times. It's very fucked. But it like we had to go get the tractor to pull me out of a bog one time.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and it's very easy to get bogged in that car. If the bike gets bogged, which is a highly unlikely scenario, there's another bike. I feel like it simplifies everything. I think
Yeah.
riding the bikes is going to be more fun. I think the boring shit in the middle of the country is going to be less fun on bikes. I agree. In terms of safety, I don't think that while we're on the road, it'll be that big of a concern, is a thing. At the end of the day, doing the trip either way is probably the dumbest thing that you and I will ever fucking do. Ever.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason that we're doing the trip is because we've already dedicated so much time and energy into just thinking about it and planning it and talking about it that now we're just
Yeah.
like, well, if we don't do it, it's all a waste.
Sunk cost fallacy, of course.
Exactly. We are so sunk. The cost. Oh, we are just so far in that we can't go out. We're so. Yeah. I think that's the only reason we're still doing the trip, because it is the dumbest shit ever. It is a stupid idea.
True.
Making it a little bit more dangerous it's not gonna make the trip impossible.
I don't know.
That's
And
fair.
I'm not going to give you an answer today.
That's fair. No, that is definitely fair.
Okay. I'm probably going to spend the rest of the day literally just reading about motorcycle travel. And that is it.
Watch some videos as well. I
Yeah,
want
send
you
me
to,
that video that you mentioned to me.
I will send you that video. I want you to do your own research. Figure out what you think. Don't just listen to me. Don't just listen to one other person like I did.
Yeah.
And figure out what you think. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, the trip, no matter which way we do it, is going to be fucking stupid and impossible. And that's why my dad just goes, no, don't do it. Just don't do the trip. His biggest concern, though, when he was actually giving me advice on doing it on bikes, he was basically just saying, it is so much more work, like mentally, to pay attention to the road on a bike than it is in a car.
Yeah, and I think that fatigue is going to really get us towards the mid to end of the trip.
I don't think it will, looking at the plan. That's my thing.
Okay.
When we
Yeah.
look at the plan, take the long days out of it, and we rework like the long days, right? Like that Bewheeler day is
Yeah,
not
we work the
fucking
breaks.
it's not fucking happening, right?
Yeah.
There's fucking 16 hours of driving or some shit. Like that's out of this world, even in a car. But most of the days are 6-7 hours, right? There's plenty of tradies that ride their fucking R1s down the highway. They take an hour riding their bikes to work. They work a 10-hour shift and they ride an hour back. That's fucking way more tiring and way more dangerous than what we're doing. Like 6 hours
Okay.
6 hours of driving, that flies by, especially because the whole way through the day, well, first of all, if we started at 8, 6 hours later, you're barely getting through the afternoon at that point. We could be setting up camp at some days by
2.
like 3 p.m., right? Ready to just chill out for the rest of the afternoon. And then we've got another 5 hours until we might go to bed. So
Yeah.
in terms of that, like a lot of days are actually planned out to be super mid. Like we're not doing a massive amount. We're just chilling, traveling, and we have some time to explore and shit. Because we can. And we also don't want to overwork ourselves. Same thing goes for the bikes. The other thing is we're stopping constantly. In the morning, we're exercising. At night, we're exercising because we have so much fucking time. We're eating well. We're drinking a lot of water. We'll have plenty of energy. Absolutely plenty of energy.
All right. Well, we don't record next until I'm back from Thailand.
No, we don't.
So
And this episode also won't go up for like another 3 weeks.
yeah, it'll go up I think end of this month. So
this episode goes up 27th of June. We are currently recording this on the 6th of June because Dane is going away for like fucking 3 weeks.
yep.
So by the 27th of June or whatever the fuck, I guess we might have an answer.
Yeah, we may do. I'm back from Thailand on the 5th of July.
I'm like, if you decide no, we can't do it on bikes, it's too dangerous, I'm not gonna fucking cry about it, right?
Yeah.
If you decide yes, let's do it on bikes, then I'll get straight onto changing around the finances and the logistics of it, getting a list of all the gear for it, and in a couple months we'll be ready to go.
Just looking at the price of those Suzukis, they're all hovering around the 5K range.
About 4 to 5, we'll get a good one. Like, shouldn't need to go more than 5. In fact, no, you won't go more than 5.
No. And then
I've got a few saved that are around 4
and all that.
Around 4K. I've got a few saved that are like mint that I want to go pick up today. That have all of like the bash plates on the side and all the gear and shit like that. They've already been out traveling. They're perfect.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening to the Big Things podcast.
Yeah, leaving you on a cliffhanger for this one.
Yeah.
I had an idea to put like a video up on the account, on the accounts, and of just me and you, just me and you, basically going, we have an idea. What if we did the trip on motorbikes? We want your opinions. We want your advice. What do you guys think? I feel like though. Just bump my whole desk. I feel like most people would just say no.
I guess if you want to find out whether or not we're doing it on bikes, watch the next episode.
Yep. Stay tuned for the next episode. We might. To be honest though, I'm not 100% dead set on doing it on bikes. If you go, let's do it on bikes. Like, if we're down for it, I am so keen to do it. But I'm not over here saying that bikes are like the best way to do it. No shot.
Yeah, no, because
I think it's just.
I have a cousin. He's done heaps of travel on in like bikes and everything. So I'll definitely speak to him and get his ideas. Thank you for listening to the Big Things podcast.
Yeah.
Episode 13.
Episode 13.
We debated a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, fuck me. All right. Anyway, bye.